All right. How we doing? Yeah, we're going to bring some energy.
Oh my gosh, this is the welcome to the after lunch crowd.
Yeah, we're going to get it going.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling, by the way.
And, you know, the one way to make sure that questions start off as an interviewee the way you want is to carry a device with you. This was not planned, but I let Panos go with it. So, Panos, why don't you tell me what you're holding right now?
This product comes out tomorrow, in case you're interested. This is the Kindle ColorSoft Scribe. It's a pretty exciting product. I'm super pumped about it. It's here with me because it's kind of my security blanket. I take it everywhere. The way I think is by taking notes. So I figure bring it with me. If I can take a note, I will, but probably not, maybe not appropriate.
I did ask Panos why he was holding it, and he did say it was kind of his security blanket.
It's
that
a
made
great
me feel
product.
bad. And so but this does go on sale tomorrow, and the price point it's a premium Kindle. Is that right?
The one I'm using here is a $600 product. There's, it opens at the Scribes open up at $399 and then go up from there. I'm using the top end. It is color. It's beautiful. It's all about writing, reading. Kindle is in this moment. It's growing. Double-digit growth, and after the over a decade of sales and being in market, when you have a product that's been kind of going that long, and you have a market that's very well used to it, you start wondering if it gets saturated and so forth.
Yeah.
But actually, we're at a time right now, Jason, where we're seeing people read at clips we haven't seen before, and there's a whole younger generation coming up that I think at some point they get tired of doom scrolling and getting into that point of
You
learning.
hope they do.
I do. I think it's really important. I think there's the whole generation that's kind of stuck behind, a lot of whatever you would call social media, and that's where you spend your extra time or all your time, and get lost in it. I think learning is one of the finest arts on the planet, and we got to give more of it, and I think reading does that. I think writing is also an incredible way to learn.
So you have a lot of different devices and services under your purview. All the Amazon consumer devices, Fire TV, Ring, I'm not going to name them all. On the services side, we have Alexa, and I have an interest here, and I think maybe a lot of people in the room do. And over the past year, you've started to roll out Alexa Plus,
Yeah.
which is more conversational. I think you've also billed it as being able to take actions on behalf of your customers. Can I just get a quick show of hands? How many folks here have either tried or used Alexa Plus?
Not that we can see you, by the way.
Okay. I won't go one by one, maybe afterward for experiences, but I'm curious. Earlier this year first rolled it out. You're calling it, remind me of the
Early access.
Early access.
Yeah. And it was quite limited,
It's quite limited?
It was.
It was.
Yeah. It's actually this week we're opening up to anyone, everyone. There's a high demand for it, and there was a long waiting list. And you're releasing an AI product into the world in a way that is coming onto products that people are traditionally used to not using that sort of depth of AI. And there's a balance too. Everybody's home is different. There's hundreds of millions of devices out there. You got to support them all. So it's been a bit of a rollout, taking some time, learning as much as we can.
How many people are using it today?
There's tens of millions is what we talk about, but having access to it right now, and it's surging right now just because we've started some advertising, just letting people know it's out there. There's a lot of excitement around it, and so we're putting some energy behind it. And it's this week, last week, and this week we're releasing it to anyone who has an Echo device. Has availability at Alexa Plus right now, and then we're seeing that uptick. And if you buy a device, you get Alexa Plus with it.
So is there a killer app for the new Alexa? You're probably tired of this narrative already, but the new Alexa was being built for many years. I think even before you came to Amazon 2 years ago. What are you promising the users of Alexa today that they weren't getting previously?
There's a couple of ways to think about it when you talk about previously, but she's more conversational. She has an unlimited depth of understanding. You can have any conversation with her. She controls your home. But She helps you get stuff done. But the way I kind of talk about it with the team and that we kind of frame on it is, she's the best DJ on the planet, in my opinion, and she's in your home. You have a personal shopper, you have a butler, you have a personal assistant, you have your home manager, and different people use Alexa for different things, and now she's pretty much supercharged in each one of those dimensions.
And yeah, I was going to ask about that, whether that's the long-term vision or if that's the reality today, because I'm thinking of some of these actions that the new Alexa is promising, and the ones that come to mind are, we could talk about home automation, but the ones that come to mind.
And that's the last piece, and we'll talk about it.
But the ones that come to mind for me are, making a dinner reservation, ordering an Uber, maybe ordering some recurring grocery order by voice. And when I tested it out a few months ago, I think some of it worked well, and some of it, I tried a restaurant reservation and it wasn't an open table restaurant. And so there's still these integrations that have to happen, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like the action, a lot of the promise has been around, I think, the actions it can take.
Yeah.
Like where are you at in that journey?
Yeah, we have this incredible journey with our developers and partners, like when the apps, if you will, or the skills coming onto the product line. We have thousands of attached skills right now to Alexa, which we call add-ons. But we also have core partners that are coming on board. You talk about OpenTable. I can't really talk about the other ones coming on board right now, but there's a series of tens and hundreds that are coming on live, and they're coming on as the product comes out of early access. So therefore, if you want to make a reservation, you want to book a car, you want to order food, you want to have something delivered to your house, all of that is pretty simplistic and it's conversational. You just ask a question and it happens. I do think though, like in helping you get stuff done, there's some nuances here in how there are things that we think about every day that you don't think about that are as tactical, like your personal assistant being with you to help you think about what to do next or how to do something next. And that's also happening, and we're seeing it in droves, how people use this device differently today. It's been pretty inspiring.
What are you seeing in the feedback that's either surprised you or confirmed what you thought for good, and maybe some stuff not so good?
I think there's a couple of things. Like we talk about Alexa being your security guard, and when you integrate Ring.
Sorry, you said your security guard.
Security guard, yeah.
Okay.
When you talk about integrating Alexa and
I don't
Ring,
need one. I think you might need one.
I think it's just about comfort around the home and knowing what's happening around the home. And you talk about the integrated home and how you do controls. This is the one that I look at and I go, wow. I mean, we're so inspired by our users right now, especially what you're doing is you're taking novice smart home users, or Alexa home users as I call them, that don't really know how to use it, and you have to go through 12 clicks to set up something or figure it out.
This is the legacy Alexa.
This is legacy Alexa. Now you have users that are basically power users, because all you have to do is tell Alexa what you want, and we see that. So an example, you want to know what's happening around the house, you wanted to know what happened today, how many deliveries you had, has anyone walked the dog, has the dog eaten, tell me really what the challenge is, like am I worried, is there something happening?
So you would say, can you give us an example of what you would actually say to tell me what my dog has eaten?
Well, no, I say, has anyone fed the dog today? Because this is my classic fight in my house. This happens all the time. I mean, I think it happens in a lot of households. Who fed the dog? This is your dog, not my dog. I don't know if that happens, but it's like a therapy session, but true. Like, this is a daily occurrence, especially when I come back from travel, I get home. Did anyone feed the dogs? And then nobody answers, because nobody has in general. Don't just ask Alexa, literally. Alexa, did anybody feed the dogs today? Nope, I haven't seen anybody feed the dogs today, as it turns out. I'm like, guys, nobody fed the dogs, and all the kids scatter to their corners, and Mary tells me it's not her problem, and then I'm feeding the dogs at like 10 p.m. When I get home tonight, it'll probably be the case. I hope she doesn't watch this, probably get me so she'll publish something that says, not true, I feed the dogs more than anybody else, right, which is actually accurate. But that's an example.
Yeah.
But also, like, when I get home tonight, I'll get home and say, what happened around the house today? Give me the update. And it's so incredible, because now you have AI infused in a product where it knows me. And if I've asked it 2 or 3 questions in the last couple of weeks, this is the understanding, the personality will just change and say, it understands what I'm looking for, and will give me a summary. And it's pretty incredible. Here's how many people visited the house today. Here's who came by. There's been 2 packages delivered. The dog was walked. And then I go, and it'll name my dog as Aries, because Alexa knows my dog's name is Aries. And then you see this happening, and it's such a joy because there's no opening a phone, opening the app, clicking, finding, putting in like none of it. You just ask the question and you get it back. And if you have a Echo Show, that product comes to life in front of you, and now you see all the clips, and you can see all those moments of the day.
So I'm curious how you think about different generations of customers, right? So like it seems like there's an obvious sweet spot for those with a smart home or Ring cameras. I'm curious, for all the folks who either don't have a home or a large home, or younger generations who are maybe, don't want or haven't built out smart homes. Like, how do you think about appealing to different
I think
types?
it depends. Like, you can do it in scenarios and examples, or what we see in Alexa, there's a lot of vertical use cases. And but once you adopt it as your personal assistant, it gets pretty interesting. There, the idea of ambient intelligence that's all around you and ready is pretty empowering. I'll give you an example, and it's for every user. Last night we were debating where to go for dinner, and this is a classic debate again in the house that we can't settle on. And you never really remember what the restaurants you wanted to try were. And so just turn to Alexa, and it's, Alexa, just tell me, what are the restaurants that I know I've said the restaurants I want to visit. Can you tell me? And comes back with, hey, it's Sunday night. Here are 3 restaurants that you guys have been talking about that you say you've always wanted to visit. I'm not sure if you've gone to any yet. If you have, let me know. But if not, and this is the conversation I'm now having with my assistant, we ended up going to a new restaurant that we had never been to last night. It's such a simple, delightful moment of when ambient intelligence is around you. And turns out we're in a debate as a family, and nobody's taking out their phone to settle it. We just ask Alexa, and the debate gets settled right there. And she has the information that we had given, I think, a couple of months ago on this restaurant that we wanted to visit at some point. So just kind of part of your everyday life and ambiently being there is quite powerful for people.
How do you make money from this?
Good question. There's a couple of different avenues, of course. Like within conversational platform, there are ads, and it's part of the business model, of course, for customers. We sell devices, as you may have noticed. We sell quite a few of them. We're quite lucky. We've really done everything we can to make sure we get the best price points possible for our customers, but make sure that it enables the business to continue to run. And ultimately, it's part of the Prime membership. And so if you're a Prime member, you get it for free. But then you get all the services that are included with Prime, and then there's just some attribution that's great for Alexa there. And so you have a bit of a flywheel, and the more people use it, the more opportunity there is for each one of those, and it's pretty cool.
And I asked that because I think part of the issue, in quotes, with old Alexa was, it seemed like there was no clear monetization path, and the device strategy back then was a lot of, charging not much more than it costs to build for your devices. And so I would think I've heard and reported there's a different approach here. So I was just curious whether you're making money on the devices, or
I think
you see a lot of revenue drivers coming out of Alexa itself.
Yeah, when you see. I see there's just a lot of opportunity around it. But ultimately we want, when you think about just the flywheels that come off of Amazon from it, and when I talk about Prime, you think about, this is your best personal shopper. You really look at just the attribution. We want our customers to be happy. We want everything to be as easy as possible. If you're shopping off a grocery list, to order groceries enough, Alexa knows what you're doing, then ultimately can just order ahead of time for you moving forward. It's just this ambient understanding, if you will, the intelligence behind it starts to show up in so many different ways. But to answer your question, I think it does become, a pretty meaningful business for Amazon moving forward.
I'm going to come to the audience for at least one question. So if you have one, raise your hand in a second. Just think about that.
You should wave your hands because we can't see anything.
I see one in the back. Just give me one more for now. I'm curious, obviously you talked about pulling out your phone instead and that experience. Yeah.
Which I think is a common use case and will keep happening. I'm not saying that won't happen, but there are jobs that can be done and are easier and I think more delightful.
I'm curious. There's other competitors talking about ambient AI devices. You have Johnny Ive and partnership with OpenAI.
Yep.
What do you think about where should we expect Amazon to go in the way of devices that will be integrated with Alexa, but perhaps are carried around with you?
Yeah, I think you're going to want your assistant with you everywhere you go. It's what makes it so powerful. And the more it understands about you, the more informed it is, the better it can serve. And depending on which use case you use it for, I think that's probably going to be important to most people. You can envision devices that are with you on the go in your car, and then also just fundamentally in the home, which is where I put a lot of my focus. And it's a pretty interesting place between Echo and Eero and Ring and Fire TV. The center of the home is such a powerful place for all of us. And having that support and help and the home manager with you is critical. So I won't ever answer, I'm not trying to obfuscate, but I won't ever answer what the next device is. You know that.
Little bit?
Definitely not. No, it's never going to. I mean, I hate saying no. I really do. It's
But you've acquired a startup that makes a wristband, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have wearables, we have earbuds, we've had glasses in the past. You can put those stories together, but I never will reveal what's next. It feels like it's the.
I thought that was our deal. That's why you came.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
We're here to announce the next generation of products. They'll be ready in 5 years. Yeah, no, that's not my thing. Yeah.
You won't be around.
We do have a lab. I will
years.
tell you this, right now, I don't think we've seen the next form factor yet on where AI devices are going to go. Just don't think we have. We have a lab full of ideas. I would say most won't make it out of that lab. But when you think about Amazon and you think about the willingness to make big bets and the leadership principle of think big, we have a lot of that going on in our labs. And I think it's pretty important because we're going to have different expectations, and there's a whole nother generation of people coming up from developing and starting from an AI world, like a lot of us started from the internet generation, and they're going to just think differently. And you got to make sure you have products in their pockets, on their bodies, in their homes that they expect to connect seamlessly, and they don't expect to have to do too much to make them work perfectly in their lives. And that's the journey we're on with Alexa.
I think we had a question in the back. Just tell us who you are and who you're with.
Sure. I'm Julie Michelle Morris, thought leadership with organizations like Center for Internet Security and SANS Institute. This is a security nightmare for me. We don't want to have North Korea, China, Russia, any other adversarial country.
Can you ask? Do you have a question?
Yes, sir. Would love to know. What security here? I mean, how can you secure so many devices? How can that work so reliably, not to where it's just a 1 in 10 chance that something bad happens?
Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, there's. Alexa's been doing it for about 10 years. So critical. Actually, across our entire device portfolio. But I don't see security as a one-off at all. I feel like it's a contract with our customers, period. It's baseline part of product making. So when we're designing, we start with privacy and security as the first premise. Some incredible, valuable lessons between Ring and Blink and Alexa and Kindle. These are so coveted that if you don't have that contract with your customers, the how is we fundamentally anchor on the technology through AWS. We definitely have our security protocols through everything we do. We don't cut one corner when it comes to security, none. I say that with full confidence because the reviews we have, the focus we have, the intention of that contract being real, we don't ever look and say, there's a lot of two-way door decisions, there's a lot of trade-offs you make in a product, there's details that you have to get to that sometimes you can't get to and it's frustrating. This is not one of those at all. And then if you take it at that level, then you see the results through your product lines, all of them. We break that contract, we lose our customers, and it's actually just not what we're doing it for. We're doing it so people can live their best lives and we can enable them to be their best, which I think is critical. I get why believe me, I wake up every day with that same challenge. I won't call it a nightmare, I call it an opportunity. It's intimidating, but I will tell you it's first and foremost probably the most important thing. The other thing can I just tap on privacy as well? like this is the other side of it. Like it's security and privacy is the way we talk about it, because both of those are unbelievably critical to us. And then we call those contracts with our customers, and we won't compromise them. And at the end of the day, it's customers' choice on, how much they want to share or don't want to share, and we believe in that like wholeheartedly.
I have one final one. You recently, Project Kuiper, which is satellite-based internet service that you're building, just rebranded to Amazon Leo, I think. Can you just give a brief overview of where you're at with that today and when customers in different parts of the world might be able to use that internet service?
Yeah, it's a good question. So if you don't know about Project Leo, it's basically a low Earth orbit constellation that we're building. There's over 2.5 billion people still to this day that don't have reliable internet, and we're on a mission at the end of the day to just remove that digital divide. Everything we're designing is kind of vertically stacked, end-to-end, built full factories in the US, from silicon all the way to the satellite. We've shipped to answer your question, we've shipped about 150 plus satellites are in orbit right now. We are on a monthly, weekly, bi-weekly trajectory to get rockets up there. We have 4 different rocket providers. It's a pretty exciting time. I mean, this is super exciting. I fall in love with the satellites themselves, which is kind of dorky, and just because the engineering and the product work around them are awesome. That constellation should be up and working for our customers. I mean, we'll have beta customers actually by the end of this year, but ultimately into next year, very early next year, you'll see it in both consumer and commercial markets. And Amazon Leo's is one of these bets that Amazon's making that I'm pretty damn excited about.
All right, Panos, we're way over time. Thank you so much.
I didn't know. Okay, thank you, folks.
All right.
Thank you, Jason.